ऐ खुदा तू बता तेरा क्या नाम है, तू है रहता कहाँ, तेरा क्या काम है। ऐ खुदा तू बता तेरा क्या नाम है, तू है रहता कहाँ, तेरा क्या काम है। क्या है तेरी हकीकत जो गुमनाम है, तुझ पे खुद को छुपाने का इल्जाम है। तूने दुनिया बनाई क्यों, मकसद बता। तूने दुनिया बनाई क्यों, मकसद बता। रूहें इसमें बसाई क्यों, मतलब जता। रूहें इसमें बसाई क्यों, मतलब जता। तेरे जलवों से रोशन ज़मीं आसमां, क्यों किसी को नजर तू ना आता यहाँ। तेरी पर्दा नशीनी का अंजाम है, ढूंढता आज भी तुझको इंसान है। ऐ खुदा तू बता तेरा क्या नाम है, तू है रहता कहाँ, तेरा क्या काम है। धर्म मजहब में है तेरे चर्चे बयां, शान में तेरी लिखते हैं पर्चे वहाँ। धर्म मजहब में है तेरे चर्चे बयां, शान में तेरी लिखते हैं पर्चे वहाँ। सबके भगवान अपने ही अपने जहाँ, ना समझ तुझको समझे ना लड़के यहाँ। तू समझदार हो के भी अनजान है बदी करते इंसान तू बदनाम है। ऐ खुदा तू बता तेरा क्या नाम है, तू है रहता कहाँ, तेरा क्या काम है। तूने जन्नत बनाने की मेहनत भी की, फिर ये दोज़ख को लाने की ज़हमत क्यों की। तूने जन्नत बनाने की मेहनत भी की, फिर ये दोज़ख को लाने की ज़हमत क्यों की। खेल कैसा गजब था, गजब ढा दिया। नेकियों को बदी से मिला जो दिया। लेना कब तक तुम्हें सबका इम्तिहान है, अब सभी के दिलों में ये अरमान है। ऐ खुदा तू बता तेरा क्या नाम है, तू है रहता कहाँ, तेरा क्या काम है। ऐ खुदा तू बता तेरा क्या नाम है। ऐ खुदा तू बता तेरा क्या काम है, क्या नाम है, हाँ क्या काम है। ऐ खुदा, ऐ खुदा, ऐ खुदा, ऐ खुदा, ऐ खुदा, ऐ खुदा। में मुझे प्यार कर लिया। मेरे लाडले कहा, मेरे लाडले कहा, आंचल में भर लिया। जाने क्या देखा मुझ में, तेरा प्यार सोच करके आंखों में आंसू आए। मोती इन्हें बनाकर दिल में लिया समाए। नैनों से जादू करके, नैनों से जादू करके गम सारा लिया। मेरे लाडले कहा, मेरे लाडले कहा, आंचल में भर लिया। जाने क्या देखा मुझ में, नहीं थी खूबी काबिल न थे तुम्हारे। सोचा नहीं कभी था बदलेंगे दिन हमारे। गागर में मन के मेरे, गागर में मन के मेरे, सागर को भर दिया। मेरे लाडले कहा, मेरे लाडले कहा, आंचल में भर लिया। जाने क्या देखा मुझ में, गोदी में बाबा तेरे मनवा करे खिलौने। आनंद सिंधु लेता अंतर में है हिलोरे। अपना बना के हमको, अपना बना के हमको, क्या से क्या कर दिया। मेरे लाडले कहा, मेरे लाडले कहा, आंचल में भर दिया। जाने क्या देखा मुझ में, जाने क्या देखा मुझ में, मुझे प्यार कर लिया। मेरे लाडले
Om Shanti, good morning. Is the sound okay? Can you hear me all?
Om Shanti, Sister Usha, sound is very clear. Thank you.
Okay, good. Thank you. So today we have a very beautiful Murli. Baba is speaking about happiness. And, in other Murlis, when he speaks about love, or when he speaks about purity, he's like giving us a very clear direction, what you have to do. And here, even Baba, in a way, is telling us what to do, but it's in a little different way. He's saying, you already got it, just use it. And in the other elements, you have to make the effort to remember one but none. And, like it feels like there's a effort that needs to be made. And here he's just saying, use it. So the one thing that is connected to us having that power to use, what gives us that authority to use something? Even if you're somewhere and you see things, what will give you the feeling it's okay for me to use it? If you feel it's yours, isn't it? So this is actually where the complication is coming, is that we have all these attainments, but actually we don't realize it's ours. And so in a way that is going to help us a lot is to be able to become aware, firstly, that I am this one and these things belong to me. And so it's as simple as that, because happiness is not something I need to get from anywhere, isn't it? It's as a result of being a soul. And the natural quality or the innate quality in the soul is that of being happy. And the reason why the soul can be happy is because the form of the soul is that it has all the attainments. So because the soul will never die, it already has eternity with it. The form of the soul is such that it is constantly bright and beautiful, but it also is the child of the Supreme. In the form of the soul, we have an automatic relationship with each other to be one family. So if you just go down the list and you see all the different attainments that come with being the soul, so then we have to use those qualities, isn't it? Which is really back to us. It's our responsibility. I was thinking that, happiness generally for each one of us feels like we will invest to get it, isn't it? In the world outside, if you want to have fun, you might have to spend money to buy some ticket and fly somewhere, or the joy that we get. It seems like there has to be a physical investment of resource. And Baba is saying, yeah, you don't have to spend even a cent, you still don't use it. And I think it goes with the world outside as well. When I spend a lot of money on something, I give it value. And so then I think, I spend a lot of money on this, so I shouldn't waste it. And because this is coming from a natural source, I was with, I think it was Sister Sybil, we were going to go and get some spring water. And so, the water is flowing freely and so much is getting wasted. And I think, water is getting wasted. But again, the idea is that it's there, it's free, just use it. But on the other hand, some people from Cape Town were telling me that, when they really had that drought and when there wasn't water and we had to go and buy water, then obviously the attitude and consciousness in individuals change. But taking all this away, I was thinking, what can we do in a natural way so that we don't have to put aside this wonderful attainment? And so the best thing actually is that you have to be one who has a right. And it's really connected to last week's Murli about self-respect. Because when I don't have value for myself, then I don't afford myself any luxuries either. If I feel I am worthy, then also I will use it. So it's really important for us to just take last week's Murli as well, and in a way connect it to what Baba is saying, that if I take that first step of really having respect for myself, and we know how Baba defined having respect for the self, is that you have to renounce the consciousness of the body. And as soon as you did that, you brought out the real value. So happiness really will then be something I can easily access, because as a soul, I know that this is what my qualities are. So I thought, anyway, it's a very short Murli, but definitely a Murli that allows you to realize that our spiritual life is not only a life of effort, but it's a life of being awake. So when we use the word effort in English, then it feels like hard work. And yet the word effort in Hindi is purusharat, which actually means just stay awake to the awareness that you are a soul riding your body. You, the soul who is a charioteer in this chariot. So instead of using the word effort, let's say be awake. And then we can use what we need at the right time. Because there's something else Baba is highlighting today. He said, if you have something and you don't use it at the right time and you miss the chance, so whether you were a second late or whether you were an hour late, it doesn't matter. The fact that you were late, you missed the opportunity. And so very much this idea is to be able to know how to use it at the right time as well. And for each one of us, unless we think we deserve it, wait and wait and wait. How often, if you're not feeling well, even see, I'll fix this, I'll fix this. And when it's really bad, after suffering, to be able to have that value to not make the self even suffer, not to put oneself to difficulty, but it's the self-respect. So let's listen to Baba. And so this Murli was originally spoken on the 5th of December in 1989. And today is the 5th of December, the year 2021. How to be constantly happy. Today, Bab Dada was looking at all the children from everywhere. What did he see? The extent to which each child is happy at every moment. And I think that's the biggest thing, isn't it? Happy is one thing, but to what extent you are happy at every moment. Along with that, Baba also saw how much you make others happy, because happiness is the only thing visible in your faces as the practical form of all godly attainments. Happiness is the special basis of this Brahman life. There is a difference of day and night between temporary happiness and the permanent happiness based on the complete and perfect stage. Temporary happiness is definitely visible for a short time on the faces of those who have temporary attainment. However, spiritual happiness definitely makes you happy, and the vibrations of your spiritual happiness also reaches other souls. Other souls also experience peace and power. So when you look at the connection in Hindi, the word happiness Baba is using is prasanta. So it's a kind of state of being where you're completely happy, there's a fullness. So when you define happiness like that, you can see why the result of happiness is peace and power. Just as a tree that is full of fruit gives people the experience of coolness for a short time with the cool shade and thereby become happy, in the same way, souls who are full of the fruit of godly attainments and spiritual happiness give others the experience of peace and strength in body and mine with the shade of their attainment. The day you wake up and you feel happy, nothing is too much, no hard work, you're not feeling good, even to get out of the bed is like rolling out of the bed, crawling out. So Baba is really showing us that happiness gives you strength, and it also infuses strength. Happiness is like that vibration that brings enthusiasm. Like rays of the sun, the vibration of happiness makes you forget the atmosphere, people, and everything else, and changes everything into an experience of true spiritual peace and happiness. At the present time, souls without knowledge spend a lot of money in order to stay happy in their lives. What did you people spend? Baba says, without spending any money, you stay constantly happy, do you not? Or are you only happy with the help of others? Babdada was checking the children's charts. What did he see? One kind is that those who are constantly happy, and the other kind is those who are happy. The words constantly does not apply to them. Baba saw 3 types of happiness. 1, happy with oneself. Can we tick this one off? Happiness with others. Happiness in doing service. If you are happy in all 3, you have automatically pleased Babdada and the souls with whom the Father is pleased are always embodiments of success. Babdada saw that some children are unhappy with themselves. They are unhappy because of little things. Although they know the first lesson, who am I, they forget it. They forget what the Father has made them and has given them. The Father has given each child a right to the full inheritance. So as we sit here and we think about it, can we feel that, yes, I have the full inheritance from Father? Or when I came, he said, no, only half for you, or only quarter for you. But did he give us the full inheritance? So Baba says, he has given some children, so they forget that the Father has made them, and what he has given them, the Father has given each child a right to the full inheritance. He has not given some children the full inheritance and others only half the inheritance. Has anyone received only half or a quarter of the inheritance? Nice time to speak up, okay? He's asking, half or quarter? Have you only given half, or have you only taken half? The Father has given everyone the blessing and inheritance of being a master almighty authority. It isn't that he has given you children some powers, but not given other powers. He hasn't kept anything for himself. He has filled you with all virtues and made you embodiments of all attainments. However, you are, this is now the big thing, you are unable to accommodate in yourself the attainments that you have received from the Father. I thought it's very interesting how Baba used the word that you are unable to accommodate the attainments that he has given.
Careless.
Careless, yeah. But, you know, when you think about when you have to accommodate something, if my capacity is small, I'm saying enough, I can't take anymore. So it's like he's giving a whole lot, and I'm saying, this is like I'm overwhelmed by what Baba is giving. So actually, for us to take from Baba, we also almost have to open ourselves to receive. So he's saying, however, you are unable to accommodate in with all virtues and make you embodiments of attainment. Now, let me read it again. However, you are unable to accommodate in yourself the attainments that you have received from the Father. Just as while having physical wealth and all facilities, you don't know how to spend the money or to use the facilities, so too, whilst having these attainments, you remain deprived of it. Sometimes we have these amazing gadgets and we don't know how they work. So I think it's a little bit like that. This gyan is so powerful and so sophisticated, but we need to utilize it. In the same way, you all have the attainments and treasures, but you don't know the way to use them. You don't know how to use them at the right time. You then say, I realize that I should have done that, or I should have done that, but I forgot it at that time. I now understand that it should not be like that. If at that time even 1 second goes by, you won't be able to reach your destination of success, because the train of time will have departed. I like that. When the train of time departs, he says, whether you were delayed by even a second or by an hour, the time would have gone by. Then, when the train of time has departed, you become disheartened with yourselves, and sanskaras of unhappiness emerge. My fortune is like that. Such is my part in the drama. You were told earlier too that there are 2 main reasons for being unhappy with yourself. One is being disheartened, and the second is, can anyone guess? He says, feeling jealous, seeing the specialities and fortune and the parts of others. You then have less courage and greater feelings of jealousy. Neither can those who are disheartened ever be happy, nor can those who are jealous, because in both cases, the desires of such souls can never be fulfilled, and desires don't allow you to become good. So Baba's playing on the Hindi words here. Acha means good, and Icha means desires. So he said, if you have Icha, you can't become Acha. Therefore, you are not able to be happy. In order to be happy, constantly keep one thing in your intellects. According to the rules of the drama, at the confluence age, each Brahman soul has been given one speciality or the other. Even if it is the last bead of the rosary of 16,000, that soul has also been given one speciality or the other. Go further than that, even out of the 900,000 souls who have been remembered, each one has been given one speciality or the other. First of all, what do we have to do? Recognize the speciality. So, do we all know what our speciality is? You're looking so serious. You have a speciality, you know it.
Thinking about it.
You're thinking about it, isn't it? So, you know, if you're a doctor, you know that's your specialty. So as soon as somebody gets sick, you get on with the business, isn't it? So we don't know what we are, so how are we going to do what we have to do, isn't it? So this is good homework for this week. At least recognize that speciality. So Baba says, so first of all, recognize your speciality. As yet, you have not even reached 900,000 who have recognized the speciality of the fortune of Brahman life. Recognize that and use it. Do not become disheartened or jealous seeing the specialities of others, but use your own specialities, and that one speciality will. Remember this once a definition that Sister Jainti gave about jealousy. She said, souls only become jealous because they're lazy. Can you think about it? If you did it, you will see, because I don't think anybody is born with everything. As you use it, you get more and more specialized. But if you can't be bothered to do it, that laziness steps in, and so then you never see the goodness. So Baba says, when a zero continues to be placed after one, it becomes so many. Put a zero behind one, and it becomes 10. Put another zero, and it becomes 100. Put the third zero, and it becomes 8,000. You know this calculation, do you not? To use it means to increase it. Do not look at others. Use your speciality. For example, Dada always gives the example of Boli Dadi in the kitchen. So this was one of the sisters that came to Baba in the early days when Daddy Janki, all of them came in. But she wasn't one who gave lectures or whatever. She always looked after the kitchen. But she had a real speciality. She cooked very, very well. And if we look at the systems that was created even now in Pandav and all of it, the style of cooking, a lot of it was all inspired by her. But she was able to give everyone a deep sense of satisfaction after they ate. So Baba says that's her speciality. So he says sometimes the names of the Maharati many times is mentioned, but her name is always mentioned. So they'll say daddies in general, but they'll say Boli Dadi specifically. So Baba says she used her speciality, even though she only looked after the kitchen. By using her speciality, she is remembered as a special soul. When everyone speaks of Madhaban, they relate things of the Dadis and also of Boli Dadi. She doesn't give lectures, but she herself has become special by using her specialities. Others also look at her and see her as special. So what will you do to be happy? It says, use your speciality and they will increase. Then when you develop all of them, you will become full, and the basis of happiness is fullness. Those who are happy with themselves will be happy with others and with service too. They will please others with whatever service they are given to do, and they will claim a number ahead. The biggest service will be done by your images of happiness. So did you hear what charts Baba saw? With the line to underline, the biggest service will be done by your images of happiness. Now Baba is speaking to the groups, and the first one is teachers. have the fortune of sitting in the front because you come as guides and work very hard. You will call someone from Sukdam and another from Vishal Bhavan. So if you've been in Madhaban, especially Pandit Bhavan, Sukdam is completely out of the complex and Vishal Bhavan is the other end. So the teacher is normally responsible to gather everyone, and that's what Baba is saying. You have to run around a lot. You get very good exercise. You don't go for walks at the centers. When service first began, you, that is the daddies, used to go everywhere on foot, did you not? Your senior daddies also used to go on foot. They would carry one piece of baggage and go by foot. Nowadays, all of you have come at a time when everything is ready-made. So you are lucky, are you not? You have got ready-made centers. The buildings are our own. Previously, they used to live on the banks of the river Jamuna. So we in South Africa never lived on the banks of the river Jamuna, but just to give you a little indication of the first center in Indonesia, it was a rented building and we lived on the top floor and the tenants were the bottom. And the main room, which was our office, was also our bedroom. So at night we would sleep in it, put the mattresses out on the floor, and in the daytime, pack it away and then use it as an office. And so were the other courtroom as well, because at one point we were 5 sisters living in that one house. But you know, really when you think about things like that, and you look at now in South Africa, we have so many buildings and houses and property, you know, it's incredible actually. But those were very powerful days of happiness. We used to get so intoxicated just because we were in Baba's house and we could do Amrit Vela in Baba's room and lived like that together. It was quite amazing actually. So Baba's talking about the similar thing. He says they had just one room, their bedroom at night and the service room during the day. However, you are now eating the fruit of the fortune of the renunciation they had with happiness. You have come at a time of eating the fruit. They sow the seeds and you are reaping the fruit. It is very easy to eat fruit, is it not? Now let your quality fruit emerge. Do you understand? The quality already too is needed. You want to reach 900,000, and so both quality and quantity are needed. However, at least prepare a strong rosary of 16,000. Now, especially underline doing service of quality souls. In every group, there are teachers and also Kumaris, but the Kumaris don't emerge. Baba says they don't want to surrender. They like Madhavan and they also love the Father, but they have to think about it before they surrender themselves. Those who offer themselves are able to move along without any obstacles. Whereas those who move along having been told to do so, come to a standstill and then start moving again. They would repeatedly tell you, we had told you in advance that we would not surrender. Some of them think that it is better to stay outside the centers and then do service. However, there is definitely a difference between staying outside and doing service having renounced everything. Those who understand the importance of surrendering have stepped aside many things and have come here easily and freed from having to work hard in many respects. So, teachers, you understand very well how important you are, do you not? Are those who do both tasks, their jobs and this service, good, or those who only do the service? So in India, especially, the teachers, once they choose to live in a center, they don't have to work. So Baba's making that comparison, because here in South Africa, I don't think we have a choice. We have to work out there and also run a center. So Baba says, what is better, just to run the center or to work and to run the center? Those Kumaris still have to play double parts. Although they are free from bondage, they still have double parts, whereas you only have one part. Householders have to play three roles: of studying, of serving, and of sustaining their household. You have become free from all three. So in this statement, it's very clear. Baba is not saying you say, well, I'm a household and I don't have to do anything. He's saying the fact that you're Baba's child, no matter where you are, service has to be part of your lifestyle. You have to fit it in. You're just making it more difficult for yourself by giving you more responsibilities. So you choose, can you free yourself from the other things, but definitely service you have to do. And isn't that a nice thing? So if you connect it to what he said, what is service? You know earlier what he said about service. Remember the definition of service. He said to be the images of happiness. So wherever I am, whatever I have to do, I can't afford not to be happy. And that's really the thing we need to work on. So if there's something taking away that happiness, it's really our job to unpack it and resolve it, because this life is a life of happiness. Agreed? So then Baba saying, Acha. And now when he sums it up in 3 lines, it's just powerful. To all the elevated souls who are constantly full of the speciality of happiness, to the sensible, it's a nice word there, sensible and essence-full souls who always recognize their speciality and use them, to the great souls who are constantly happy and have the greatness of making others happy. Babdada's love, remembrances, and namaste. Then Baba meeting Agra and Rajasthan group. Do you always consider yourself to be elevated souls seated on the immortal throne? You souls are immortal, and so your thrones are also immortal, are they not? You souls do so much work while seated on those thrones, with the awareness that each of you is a soul seated on the throne. You automatically have the awareness that you have a right to self-sovereignty. When a king is seated on his throne, he naturally has the intoxication and happiness of his kingdom. To be seated on the throne means to be a king who has self-sovereignty. By having this awareness, all your physical organs will automatically follow your orders. The Father's heart is the heart throne for those who move along, considering themselves to be seated on their immortal throne. Because by understanding yourself to be souls, you remember the Father. Then there are no bodies, bodily relations, or material things. So you can be making an effort to say, oh, I need to become detached from this thing. this, the other. All he's saying, you connect yourself in the relationship of who you are with the Father, and all the rest falls into place. Then Baba says, the Father is your world. Therefore, those who are seated on the immortal throne and seated on the Father's heart throne, only the children who belong to the one Father and none other remain in the Father's heart. So you have a double throne. Beloved, long lost, and now found children are always made to sit in the lap. They are made to sit up high, not on the floor. So the Father too says, sit on the throne. Do not get down from it. With those who are given a throne, sit anywhere else. So do not forget your immortal throne or the heart throne, and come into the soil of the body, into the dirt of the body. A body is said to be dust, is it not? You say dust returns to dust, do you not? So to come into the body means to come into the consciousness of dust. Royal children never play in the dirt. Godly children are the most royal of all. So do you enjoy sitting on the throne, or do you have a slight desire to sit in the dirt? Obviously, some children have a habit of eating dirt and playing with dirt. So you are not like that, are you? You have played in the dirt for 63 births. The Father is now making you sit on a throne. And so, how can you play in the dirt? Those who play in the dirt become dirty. So you too became so dirty. The Father has now cleansed you. By having this awareness, stay constantly powerful. Those who are powerful never become weak. To become weak means to have an illness of Maya. You have now become healthy for all time. What a blessing. You have now become healthy for all time. You souls have become powerful. Karmic accounts of your bodies are different matter, but your minds have become powerful, have they not? Your bodies are weak and don't function. They are your last bodies, and that will happen anyway. However, you souls must be powerful. You souls must not become weak when your bodies are weak. So to be seated on the double throne, and on your throne, God's heart throne, sitting with a double crown. Baba says, all of you are content, are you not? So don't go but here, right? Just say yes. And then the deal is signed. Now the but is going to just cause too much problem. Just accept God said it, you are content, and that's it. So to be content means to be happy. You are constantly happy, or only sometimes. It's giving a little margin just in case you change your mind. So Baba says, you are not happy sometimes and unhappy at other times, are you? You never become unhappy with some situation, do you? Today I did this, today this happened, yesterday that happened. You don't write letters like those, do you? Those who are constantly happy always make others happy with their spiritual vibration. Do not think I am constantly happy anyway. However, the power of happiness will definitely spread. Are you happy to the extent that you are able to make others happy too? Or are you happy by only being happy with yourself? If you also make others happy, no such letters will be received. If someone sends a letter of unhappiness and send it back to them, remember this time and this date. Yes, write this letter. I am okay, and others are also okay with me. Just write those 2 lines. That's all. I am okay, and others are also okay with me. Why do you spend so much money? These 2 lines can also be written on a card, so do not repeatedly write letters. Some send cards every day. Do not send cards every day. You can send a card with okay twice a month or every fortnight. Do not write long stories. Now make others happy with your happiness. It's a little commitment that we can make. Make others happy with your own happiness. And the blessing today, may you be a spiritual server who achieves success in doing service with the powers to accommodate and to face. Spiritual service cannot think of anything except doing service. They do not take a rest for even a second in their thoughts, words, or actions. And this is why they are the best. In order to achieve success in doing service, they always remember the slogan, to accommodate and to face is our goal. They accommodate their old sanskaras and they face Maya, not the divine family. Such children, along with being knowledgeful, are also powerful and are said to be spiritual servers. And then the slogan, do not make small things big, but make the atmosphere powerful. I think it was Tadi Gulzar that once was describing, she said if you have 2 lines and somebody says, make this line smaller, and they don't give you an eraser, they give you a pencil. So what do? You just make the other line bigger and then that line becomes smaller. So it's interesting in a way for ourselves as well. When something looks like overwhelming, we think, oh gosh, I'm so small. Instead of thinking, well, let me just make myself bigger. And as soon as we do that, then situation will be reduced and you will actually be more empowered. And then the other thing also Baba would say is that when a situation comes, think that you're not alone, who's with you. So recently in the Avyak Parivar, these classes that Sister Moini does every week, they've got all these little children sharing their experiences, and 11-year-old and a 5-year-old, and the little things they say, but you can see that like they're saying it with like it works for them. So like the one child was saying this morning that because the question was asked to her, how do you make others happy? So she said, we were all going to go to Peace Village together as a family. So it was our family and other families. But what happened is that I fell or I got hurt or something. And so it meant that we were going to cancel the trip. So if I was not going to go, it meant everybody else was not going to go. She said, I just decided, no, I'm not going to be sick. I'm going to say everything is okay and it'll be fine. And so not cancel the trip. And then she says, and so it was great. So we didn't cancel the trip and we all went and everybody was so happy. So she then decides that she's the one that was responsible to make everyone happy. And I love it because I thought that's such a nice thing to know that our small acts of being enthusiastic, of not making something petty into a big thing, can actually stop use the atmosphere with looking really sick. Everybody says, "Oh, you okay? Something's wrong with you." Then everyone's attention is on this person that's looking half dead in a sense. But even if because look, no one is 100%. But we have to keep ourselves well, and we have to keep ourselves okay. Then what happens is that no one's attention is like going into a negative. So I think these are little things that I think we can all do in our own little way to keep the energy high. And I like what Baba is saying today. He's saying that when we are happy, we are actually infusing peace and power to everyone. So that's a real great gift that we can all give to the world, especially when we see the time. Like now also with the virus situation. As soon as somebody hears that the virus is another variant, the panic, the fear, the anxiety, nothing has still quite spread, but it's already spread in everyone's minds. And so we who are the powerful souls, if we already start freezing on the inside, then what's going to happen? So, how are we going to become those to give courage and enthusiasm? Doesn't mean we become careless, but don't let it attack your mind. And I think Baba was saying this today. He says, your bodies may be weak, but your minds are that which is powerful. And the whole practice of meditation and the study of spiritual knowledge is to keep that element very powerful. Baba knows that no one's going to have perfect bodies here, but that's not what we're working towards. We're working towards settling that energy to the point that the soul can rise above this matter, which is really done its due for 84 births. It served us well, so we can't get more out of it. But now, as souls, the quality of thought we think is supporting our matter. When you're feeding the plants with water, and whilst you're giving it physical water, you give it a nice, good vibe, they grow. Even if you give them recycled water, they grow even better. So it's actually our energy that's really making things work. So this gift we can't forget. So slogan for today: do not make small things big. Do not make small things big, make the atmosphere powerful. And then our dharana point or practice for the month of December is on becoming karmatit. And for today, point number 5, in order to become karmatit, increase the practice of being bodiless, the bondage of the body, the bondage of people, the bondage of material comforts, the bondage of nature and sanskars. None of these bondages should attract you towards themselves. It is these bondages that make the soul tight. For this, constantly practice being immune, that is, detached and loving. So Baba has given us a full dose on all levels. And the only thing that remains is, what is the one word we can take away from today? Happiness. Happiness. What about that happiness we need to use it? He said use it, and then when you use it, it will actually get multiplied quite easily. So happiness is the big thing, isn't it? It's so interesting when you look at each person. If you listen to their story, one person's story gets more bigger than the other person. But we all sit together and we talk about our stories, we're all going to feel heavy. But if we talk about our attainments, the things we do, the little bits we can attain from the stuff. So it's something we need to be able to create a sanskara of, is to find the best in all situations. Really just to be able to have that, it's actually an attitude or that ability to find the good in everything. And when we do that, what's happening is that we're increasing the energy inside of ourselves. And the part of service, which Baba was talking about as well, is that I don't have to do anything for anybody. He said, if I'm the image of happiness, people will get peace and strength. I felt for the first time, I'm kind of digesting this word, that when you are happy, you're actually giving people peace. Because when you're content, that's the vibe that others get, isn't it? But strength, your happiness gives strength to others. It's a very energetic thing, which is also important. So each one of us, maybe that's why we like children so much, isn't it? They always happy, bubbly, and jumping around like they never get tired. Their bones, they don't have muscles, they just have elastic, they can stretch so well. I went to go visit my niece the other day, and she has this, jungle gym thing. And there's one part, like, that for a monkey, how they go on one pole to another. And the way she was thinking, I thought, this is so easy. I thought, let me try it as well. And I did, but I realized that actually, we get so stiff. And so you literally have to, she said, no, don't hold it, just touch one at a time. You go the other way around. And really, it's in that energy, because we're holding on. That's what I realized. I started doing that. Even though I did kind of climb up, I was holding on to the bar, and then that was actually what was creating that feeling of weight. And she basically touches one to the other, and she's like all over the show. So in life, it's like that, scenes will come and go. If you hold on to the scene and you catch it, then you'll catch the heaviness, and you begin to then get absorbed into it. And really to be a witness in the drama, to recognize and acknowledge it, but then just to move on. I think this is the beautiful thing. And even like the idea of using, when you use something, it'll be finished. But only when you finish it, then can you get a new thing. So sometimes in our minds, we don't use it because we think we're going to use it when we need it. And then we keep keeping it for a time to need it. And then we will never actually use it, and nor will we get more. So maybe there's also something in our consciousness that we need to check, that we're holding on, we're not utilizing because we think I'm going to need. But if I don't use, I will never know how it works. And we will also never be able to open the space for new things to come. I think there's a few things in the drama we need to think about, but it's a Murli worth reading again. And whilst reading it, to just give a good check to see that, do I really consider myself to be the one who has already received everything? Because he asked us, he said, I gave you the inheritance. Did you take it all? We still think he's sitting with the papers. He didn't sign it off. So we need to be 100% that he's saying, I've given you. You became my child, so you inherit everything I have. Do we have it? Is it something we've claimed? And those things are sitting inside of us, which we need to check. And then I think it's a matter of just using it, and then it will multiply easily. Acha, Om Shanti. So I'm saying Om Shanti to the Zoom group, unless there's somebody who wants to share what they've taken from Baba's Murli today. And so you can also share if you want to. You can unmute and share. And anyone in class, do you want to share? But I'm going to make you come to the mic and speak. So Babin, they can all hear your voice too. Be so nice. You don't want to do it. Okay, share then. Share anyway. Let's hear.
And I like that happiness part of it, honestly. Baba emphasized the spiritual happiness.
Yes, spiritual happiness.
And spiritual happiness is innate.
Yes.
And when we experience that, the others experience, then it's how we create a good vibration.
Yes. So You experience your innate happiness, others experience it, and then it's shared automatically. It's a vibe, no? We're creating a vibe. Good vibes, okay? Anybody else? Yes, Brother Colin?
You have now filled yourself up so much that you can be happy for all times.
So we have filled ourselves for all times and we'll be happy, constantly happy for all time. Saying, you got it, but let it be constant. And when something is constant, you really enjoy it. Like when something starts and go, you don't quite enjoy it, you let go of it. So let the happiness flow, which is important. Sister Carol, were you keen?
Yes.
Yes.
When there is what I perceive an obstacle, then transform that obstacle by moving away from it, and in that way I bring my intrinsic qualities into the reality of the situation, and I'm making symbolically the intrinsic quality bigger than the negativity brought about by the obstacle, because the obstacle is only there because of my attitude and how I see things. And when I'm settled and calm inside, it's like a pool, like a lake. It won't be threatening to others, and then they will feel in a safe space.
So if I can just sum up what Carol is saying, sometimes when we think of like a dog who's an obstacle in the way, charging at me, and I get so frightened. Meantime, the dog was picking up my vibrations and he was just reacting. So when I become calm, in a way, the dog will ease off actually. So it's like that with the drama as well. Just to, I feel sometimes that these things have to happen because they're like a test to show us how far we've come in our study. If we're not going to get challenged by adversities, how do we know how much we have imbibed in terms of really being peaceful? The atmosphere was perfect all the time and I'm peaceful, then who knows, is it the atmosphere that's serving me or it's really me that is peaceful? So there was once a journalist that came to interview Brother Ken, and Sao Paulo is actually a very busy city. So she strategically got the invitation or the meeting spot to be like the busiest point, cross-section in the city. And she said to him, we'll meet at this cross-section and then we'll go and find a cafe, we will do the interview. So what happened is that to get to this junction was really hectic. But while they were in this like really hub, she started speaking to him and interviewing him. And then, so to get to that cafe itself took a bit of time. By the time they went to the cafe, she says, I'm ready to offer coffee, my interview's done. She said, I really wanted to see how you function under such conditions. Now I have the information I need. So can you see, it's amazing that we might wait still for something nice to happen. Then we think we're going to enjoy this Brahman life. But guess what? This is it. Everything that's happening is actually part of the whole process. And we can feel Baba's presence. We can feel the clarity of the knowledge stepping in to make us change our attitude. And then we actually know that this thing is actually working. We're not going to get another time to practice knowledge. It's actually happening here and now. I'm just checking. No one's really in the chat or asking or saying anything. Anyway, so Brother Avinav, could you play a song for us, please?
Yes, Sister Usha. I'll do that now.
Thank you.
Beloved source,
take my part, that suffering may cease. All beings live in peace. Om Shanti Shanti, Om Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti, Om Shanti Shanti. Let this world be my mirror. Give me eyes to see that what I judge, shun or fear may be met in me. If I turn the outside in, healing may begin. Om Shanti Shanti, Om Shanti Shanti. 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 Send the rain, send the sun that I need to bloom. Burn my barns, every one, if they block the moon or obfuscate the sight of your ever-present light. Om Shanti Shanti, Om Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti, Om Shanti Shanti. Beloved force that gives me breath, that pumps my blood, that spins these stars, that dreams this dream, that sings this love. May thy will be done. May thine and mine be one. Om Shanti Shanti, Om Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti, Om Shanti Shanti.
So I'm going to give you just a little feel of Baba's children in Cape Town. So say hi to the Zoom family. There we go.
Om Shanti. Good morning, everyone.
Om Shanti, everyone.
Yay.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Thank you.
Om Shanti, everyone.
So Jaiba, you can say hello to the Cape Town family.
Om Shanti. Hello, everyone. Good to see you guys. Thank you, Usha Ben.
Okay, take care. Om Shanti. Om Shanti.